Welcome to the Soon Podcast.
I just don't like how you look really tan and I look ghostly.
I don't know what to say. I mean, camera doesn't lie, sis.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Soon Podcast. I'm Alyssa. I'm a health coach, and this is my sister.
I'm Amanda Lynn, and I am a furniture and decor buyer as well as a style curator. We are so excited because Alyssa has some really spunky news to share with everyone. She did post it. So if you don't follow us, then you're not in the loop. So first, follow us.
Yes.
But also, Alyssa has some amazing news to share with us. So why don't you just take it away, sis?
Officially announced that I am pregnant after like 2 years of trying. Paul and I have conceived. And so we would love to talk about all of that today because it's almost been a year since I last came on here and talked all about our fertility journey. And I actually did go ahead and record everything as we were going through it. And so I've also been posting videos on our YouTube that are quite vulnerable and were like in real time, and we really didn't know what our future held. And so those have been interesting to look back on in the past few days as we're finally announcing our pregnancy. But Amanda's been around since day one. So
Wow.
thanks for all the support, and I'm excited to dig into everything today.
Where else would I have been?
Home.
No, I have to say that I am a rock for this family.
Nice.
Just a quick, humble note for everyone. But no, I think that we should really take it back. For those who didn't listen to that last episode where you initially talked about infertility, why don't you just give everyone like a quick synopsis of how long you guys were trying, when you realized that you might want to look into alternative options, and what routes that you took to get there?
Yeah. So the last time we talked was a year ago, and we had been trying for a year, which our fertility doctor at the time told us that our chances of naturally conceiving were 2%. So quite low. And so she kind of gave us some options. None of them were holistic or anything like that. So in my head, I had two buckets. We could go the traditional route or the holistic route. And the holistic route is amazing. I 100% recommend it to everybody. Basically, that would entail me getting my GI labs tested, testing for ureaplasma in the vaginal microbiome, also doing a whole protocol and detoxing, and having Paul do that as well. So that would have been the holistic route, as well as probably going gluten and dairy free for a couple months and just really honing in on our health. Now, we had been doing a lot of work on our bodies for that whole year of us trying. I did go gluten free. We stopped drinking. We really honed in. We took a lot of supplements, and I did have all of my blood labs ran. Paul had a semen analysis done. Like, we had already done a lot of work. So that was one bucket that we could further go down. The other bucket was our fertility specialist route, which was doing IUIs, which is, I think, intrauterine inception or something, insemination. And then if that didn't work, then moving to IVF. So I was really conflicted the last time we talked because I felt like there was no in between. I was like, can't she test more? Can't I optimize things more? Aren't there other steps I can do? And there really wasn't. When it comes to fertility doctors, they only know what they know, and they're not going to spend more time digging into holistic things or things that I thought would just be naturally approached. So I struggled with that a lot. However, Paul, my husband, is a doctor, and he loved how that fertility side of thing had numbers. If you do an IUI, it increases your chance of conception up to 20%. So with IVF, I had unexplained infertility. I'm under 35 years old. And so our doctor was saying there's a 60% chance of conception per cycle with IVF. And so all of that really got Paul. Like, he was like, I am down if you want to go the holistic route. I am just really drawn to the numbers, and we're both so ready. Like, we were ready from day one of trying. We were so excited and literally assumed we were pregnant every single cycle. And so we were honestly impatient. And I don't know if that's because I'm in my 30s and I always imagined having a family in my 20s, because we're crazy, or, if we had just been working so hard already on optimizing things. And Paul was just kind of like seeing this analytical side of things. And so I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. I'm in. We're going to submit to this process. So, yeah, we ended up doing IUI. And so basically, that whole process is they take Paul's sperm and they use a catheter and put it in my uterus. So it's very easy. You do one single shot, and then you go in like the next day or 2 days later or something, and they do that. And then you wait 2 weeks. And so we ended up doing that 4 times. My doctor had personally conceived on her 5th time of doing it and her 6th time. However, once we had done 4, we were so discouraged. And it's truly like felt like a gamble. And we totally understood that it was possible still, but if we kept doing it, but it was also $1,000 per cycle for us. And so to us, it was kind of like, well, that's money that we could put towards IVF. So we kind of agreed to do 4 from the start, definitely thinking we would absolutely get pregnant. And then by December, we had done 4 and we were not pregnant. And so we were looking into IVF, and we were kind of all over the place with our research because we didn't know if our insurance would cover it. And then as of January 1st, it said it did cover it. So then we found that we could stay with our fertility clinic, which we just decided to do, and we got to move forward with everything. So it was a really hard decision, but also it felt like ever since like the first or second IUI, like we were just ready to do what it needed to take, It felt like you were waiting for the inevitable to happen. And so once December was over, it was like a little bit of a relief. Like, okay, we're doing this and we're ready. So yeah, that's when we started our IVF journey.
I feel like a lot of people wouldn't know where to start. You guys are very lucky because you both work in some sort of like a medical job, if you will. Where would you recommend people who have no idea what the next step would be once they realize that they're having fertility struggles to find the right practitioner, to find the right steps for them? What would you recommend?
Yeah. So personally, the number one thing, if you're like 6 months into trying and you're feeling unsure about things, go to your doctor, get your blood labs ran, all of your hormones, your thyroid, your iron. You want to make sure you're absorbing your nutrients, and have your husband's semen analyzed.
Yeah.
He's 50% of the picture. And I'm so sick of that not being prioritized. Like, one of our good friends, they're both doctors, they're trying for a baby. And they're like, I don't know why it's not happening. Her husband has been in the hot tub every single day. And we were like, yo, 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 yo. That's a no.
Yo,
And
yo,
so it's just,
yo.
yeah, you can't do that. Like, Paul hadn't been in a hot tub for over a year and a half. So there's just a lot of things, and it takes two to tango. So looking at where both of you guys can optimize. So that's the first thing I would do. I wouldn't rush into assuming you're struggling with infertility. You will likely conceive within the first year of trying. I even had met someone who it had been over a year, and she found out through some kind of test that she would have a very small chance of conceiving. And then the next month they conceived. So you really never know. So after 6 months, if you get those tests back, they're all normal or you have things to work on, I would suggest going to a naturopath or a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner that specializes in fertility. So, something like Mad Healthy is amazing, and they'll help you optimize everything, see if there's gut bugs, and just lower inflammation. And we've just seen so much success with that. Another option is a NAPRO physician, which is someone who looks into endometriosis, which is just huge and so prevalent with women and is a huge cause and factor for infertility. So that's where I would start. I would not start with a reproductive endocrinologist, which is what we jumped into because I didn't know. I thought that maybe they would have a lot of tools in their belt, but they don't. They know IUI, they know IVF, and they know diagnostic tests. And so that was a shock to me. And then I felt like we already wasted time. So that's definitely something I would tell people. And then, yeah, once everything has been tried and tested and you've worked on your body, that's when you can go to the reproductive endocrinologist and go from there.
What part of IVF and the whole process do you think is not talked about enough for people that are thinking about it?
So for me, it was the fact that every single person in our lives knew. And so literally when we started trying, we told everybody, we were so excited. And I don't want that to take away from someone's experience, but I do not recommend doing that at all. Like, I recommend keeping it very low key and only talking with a very small group of people if you want to, talk about things further, get people's experience, because you don't have to feel alone. But it felt like every week, every month, someone was asking me, like, how's it going? Like, what's happening? Are you guys doing this, this, and this? And have you tried this? And it just added to the pressure, and it also made me more sad. And it made people feel sad for us and also sad when they conceived or like had a baby. And like, I don't want that. I wanted to celebrate people. So that's something that I didn't think was ever talked to me about. I know a lot of people don't usually share when they start trying, so that was on us. But that is something I would keep in mind, especially with IVF, IUI. There's so many steps in there, and like everyone was just asking every single week, and God bless them. And I'm very thankful we have so many people that care about us, but it was overwhelming, and I just wanted to talk about anything else.
Right. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about just IVF in general and what your experience was like?
So IVF for us was incredibly easy. I felt so supported. First of all, my husband did every single injection, so that made a really big difference. It was hard on my mental health a little bit, like having my husband give injections, having him essentially in my head like be related to pain was kind of weird. And so once I figured out how to get through the pain, then it felt a lot better. But at first, we were both struggling with like feeling awful, honestly, like about the injection. So we did what's called a modified natural cycle. So that is where you kind of work with your own cycle. And I didn't have to take, progesterone and all of these other things. Now, a lot of women have to do that. And those shots I've heard are incredibly uncomfortable. So I was so nervous that we would have to do that. And then we ended up just having to do 2 to 3 shots every single day in the belly, and they were not the intramuscular injections. So I was so grateful for that because the hardest part was the pain, I would say, and just feeling sad for myself after getting the shot. So what we ended up doing was I would put an ice pack on, I would put numbing cream on for like 30 to 40 minutes every single night. And then I would turn on my favorite show and then he would do the injection. And then the week that we were doing the injections, my sister and Omar came in, and that was just so helpful. Like having
Yeah.
distractions, having other things to focus on, and then just kind of making light and making fun of the situation was amazing. So that really got me through it. So you do that, I think it was for like 2 weeks. It just depends on the person. And you're getting monitored the whole time. You're going in for blood draws all the time. And then once you've done that, then you will go in for an egg retrieval. And that is like a whole procedure. So they put me under for that. It was crazy. And then you get your little eggies and you hope for the best. So we did get a lot of eggs, and then they make embryos with Paul's sperm. And then we sent them into something called PGT testing, which is optional. And that just kind of tells us if the embryos have a good amount of chromosomes. And yeah, you don't need it, but we wanted to make sure that we had the best chance of conceiving after all this time, and that when we conceived, it would be a healthy baby. So we did opt to do that. And then we also found out the genders. So that was really cool.
Okay, well, Alyssa really wanted to have like a gender reveal, especially since they wanted to know the chromosomes and like go with the essentially like safest baby possible, if you will. And so my mom had a really cute idea that we would get the lab results, which would say like, here are the top embryos, and it tells us the gender, and then it kind of rates them, which
Mm-hmm.
sounds crazy, but that's how it is. And so I had to use my bestie, Chat GPT, to break it down for me. And thank goodness I did, because I got the chromosomes wrong the first time, and I almost told Alyssa and Paul like the wrong gender for all of them. Which would have been so funny. Not at all. And my mom is so cute. She ordered little like baby goodies, like little onesies and bibs in pink and in blue. And then we sent Alyssa and Paul home with it like a little basket, and they were all wrapped in obviously like gender neutral colors. And so we read off the list. We were FaceTiming them, and we like had them open up box number 1, and we like went from worst to best, so that way they wouldn't know which gender it would be at the end. And I thought it was so fun. Do you
I
recommend
loved
something
it
like
so
that?
much. Yeah. I've always wanted a gender reveal moment. And a lot of people don't get that with IVF. Like they'll get the PGT results and, then they just have those and it's like a PDF. And it was really hard not to open those results, but it was so worth it. I cried and was so excited. We ended up getting 5 healthy embryos, which is like a lot of embryos in my opinion. And they were like an array of genders. And so we were just so excited. And we ended up going with a boy. And so we have a little boy on the way. And hopefully we'll have a girl next. But that was like so much fun to do that. And I wanted my family to be involved. So I was just like, I don't know how you guys are going to do this, but this is what I want. Like, I want you guys to come up with a gender reveal. And they did. And so it
Yeah.
was so sweet. I loved it.
It was so special. So I highly recommend doing something like that. It's super easy as long as the soon to be parents don't check the results beforehand. It's
Yeah.
like a super easy and cute way to make it super special.
Yeah, literally. And I was like, if we only get one embryo, like kind of alert me before because that would be a little disheartening and it happens to a lot of people. So I wouldn't have been surprised. But yeah, I was like, let me know if this is not the best case scenario beforehand, but
Yeah.
it would still be really cool if you have your gender reveal like that.
Yeah.
Another thing people do is we'll just implant the healthiest one and then find out the gender, when they can. Like,
Oh,
15
that's really cute too.
yeah, there was no chance that we were waiting.
Yeah, that's true. I know you found out they knew going into it, which was so funny because when we finally started telling people, well, I was telling everybody all the time because I was just so excited. And not a lot of people that I know know Alyssa like from work and stuff. So I got to be like, my sister's pregnant. And so they were like, oh my gosh, like that's so exciting. I'm like, she's having a boy. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah,
They're
surprise.
like, "He's 6 days old," but
I'm
we
like, you
know.
wouldn't get it.
Yeah, it was really cool, and we knew we wanted a boy first if possible, and so that was just how we went about it, but everyone can go about it differently. And with 5 embryos, we were so, so happy that we didn't have to do the shots all over again. So some people have to do multiple egg retrievals, and that means multiple shots. And none of the medication was covered. And so we ended up going to a pharmacy in Mexico in Tijuana, and it cut the cost in half. So I highly recommend that for people. It's called Ferti Pharma and it was super easy. So that was like a huge thing that we did. But overall, with all of the injections and everything, I didn't have a lot of symptoms. I wasn't very emotional. I didn't feel too bad. So I was like really grateful because there's a lot going on. They say your ovaries grow into like grapefruits because you're just carrying so many eggs and you're just plumping it up and it's not natural. So I'm really glad that it ended up being very smooth sailing.
I would say you were pretty normal.
Did you like visiting and holding my hand during the injection?
Yes, yes, we loved getting to go there. Alyssa, I mean, I would say Alyssa and I are decently heavily emotional girls. We're just an emotional family over here. But I did think when she said that she was stressed out about it, Omar and I were like, let's just go and be there because why wouldn't we be? And I loved it. I felt really special being part of it. And of course, holding her hand, even though she was squeezing it so hard. But it was really hard seeing you in pain like that just because it's just so sad. Like, oh, I just hated it. But it also, on the flip side, I knew that it was for something that was going to be so worth it. So it just made so much sense. The worst part about that whole trip, I would say, is that I kept wanting to do things, and Omar kept being like, your sister is going through IVF, Amanda Lynn. So whatever she wants to do. Or I would like start getting mad and he would be like, your sister is going through IVF right now. And I was like, can't do anything.
I love it. I
I
love it.
know. It
That's
was really
exactly
cute.
why Omar was here. But yeah, that was the best.
Yeah.
My best friend group also came down like the week before. You really don't know when your retrieval is going to be and or your transfer. And so it's hard to schedule that, but it ended up working out perfectly and I was so thankful. So the next step after getting all of the embryos, learning the genders, you choose one and then you do a transfer. And so you get one shot along with your like ovulation and sometimes they'll put you on progesterone, which woof, I missed my progesterone. They almost canceled the cycle, but they ended up going through with it. And thank God, like it still worked. So that was really crazy. And then a couple days later, Amanda and Omar were back and we were going on our huge road trip from Carmel, Big Sur, Santa Barbara. And we ended up finding out that we were pregnant on that trip, but we did not tell them because
No, they did not.
we didn't believe it. Like, so I had always planned to do a fun surprise for Paul. I bought this sticker for the car that said baby on board and it's a surfboard and I was going to like surprise him with that. For 2 years I had this damn sticker. And then when the time actually came and I took a pregnancy test and it looked positive, I was in such shock. I was like, Paul, and he came in the room and he was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's really like it was a very faint line. And then the tricky thing is that it could have still been remnants from the trigger shot a week ago. So if you test too early, you can still get a positive test from the trigger shot and not from actual pregnancy. So we couldn't really celebrate. Like we were very unsure, even though I had never seen a positive pregnancy test in my life, even after the IUIs, which also have trigger shots, all of that. And so a day later, I was like, I feel like I'm pregnant. And then the next day, I called the doctors and was like, can I come in early for the blood draw? Because that's how they diagnose if you're pregnant. And they let me come in. And so I went by myself. I surprised everybody and yeah, got the good news. So then I got to surprise my husband. I got him like little baby vans. And then for Amanda and Omar, I had such a fun little prank. So I didn't get to use my baby on board sticker with Paul. And so I put it on our car and I yelled Amanda and Omar and I said, the car, someone hit it. Someone hit the car. Come look.
Well,
And they,
because Omar and I were visiting, and so we did our trip, and then Omar and I did like a separate little mini trip, and then we came back together at the end, but we took their car. So Omar and I had been driving their car for like 2 days, and we had just gotten back. And so when she said that, I was like, what?
yeah, yeah. And so they came running out and Amanda was like, where's the dent? I don't see it. And then we like had to point to the sticker. And it is like the best video ever because she was wearing a hair turban. So everyone wait for this video to be posted because it is iconic.
It's something. I was so stressed out because I genuinely was like, how could someone hit the car and we wouldn't know? So I had just taken a shower, was like, I just, thank God, putting like proper clothes on. Otherwise, I would have ran out there in a towel. And so I ran out front. I'm looking at it and I'm like so heinous. And then I saw it and I like ripped the turban off. I'm screaming and crying. And it was just a whole thing. It was so, so cute.
Yeah.
But Alyssa didn't even say like the best part. So I think that this is really fun to do too. If you want to surprise people and again, like give yourself that opportunity to like have that normalcy of like getting to tell everyone. So Alyssa told our whole family and literally anyone who was asking that they would find out the test results to know if they were pregnant or not on Monday, but they actually found out on Thursday. And so no one was expecting a pregnancy announcement at all that weekend. Everyone was waiting until Monday. And so it really, really caught us off guard because we were like, what are you talking about? How do you know this? So that's like a really fun idea for everyone too.
Yes. Everyone should lie.
Everyone just lie about everything always.
But honestly, like it was so fun going on the road trip. We definitely didn't think we were pregnant because we got food poisoning. Ugh. But we ended up, it's a strong little guy in there. So it was so fun and so exciting that Amanda and Omar got to be here.
I know. And then tell everyone how you told our parents and then how you told Paul's family.
So we are afar. We're in a different state. And so for my parents, it's kind of sad because we had bought things like a year ago for in case the day happens. And so one thing that we did was we saw like this sweet little coffee shop in San Luis Obispo called Little Wolf. And my maiden last name is Wolfert. And so we're like the Wolf Pack, blah, blah, blah. And so I thought that would be the cutest way to tell them is get them like grandma and grandpa mugs and then like the coffee from Little Wolf. And so we did that. And Amanda and Omar gave it to them because they were home and we were here. And so they just FaceTimed us the whole time and it was so sweet.
They were
and
so
fun.
surprised.
Mhm.
So surprised. And they were like, so we started with giving them the coffee beans, which just said Little Wolf. And they were like, oh, cute, cute. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's great. And then we brought out the grandma and grandpa mugs and they were like, no, because again, like this was before they were supposed to know. It was the perfect timing ever because we got home that weekend and then we got to surprise everyone.
Yes. And then for Therese, Paul's mom, She loves Starbucks. We did not know how we were going to surprise her because we wanted the Starbucks people to write grandma on the cup. And so we ended up having it delivered, and the delivery person wrote grandma on the cup, and we FaceTimed her. And so that was really sweet. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Okay, so tell us what you have going on right now. What is the nursery looking like? What are the vibes? What are you packing in your hospital bag? And what are you doing to prepare yourself for birth?
I'm so far from birth still. I'm only in the second trimester, you guys. So we'll have to do another episode, I guess. But for now, we plan to go to the Babylist store, which is a huge registry store in Los Angeles. So we're going to go there next weekend. And so I'm so excited for that. And then Amanda was here last weekend for the 4th of July, and I put her to work. I was like, you need to design this nursery now.
And
So I showed her
I
my inspo, and she went to work.
whipped it up. I gave 3 different options. They're all literally stunning. Alyssa wanted it like a little Western, but not too on the nose, and slightly coastal. So she's like essentially trying to ruin my life. And I came up with
And a little whimsical.
and a little whimsical. She wants everything and the sun. And I gave it to her. I gave you 3 stunning designs. One is like out of this world, top notch, stunning. And Alyssa was like, yes, this is just what I was thinking. This is perfect. I'm so excited. And I was like, nailed it. Shocker. Show it to Paul. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't really care. Just give my sister your credit card and we'll handle it.
Yeah, literally, I don't know what his deal was.
He
So
was being so not about it. He was like, wallpaper on the wall. And I'm like, where else is it going to go? The floor?
yeah, so he had used ChatGPT to come up with a like surfer nursery. And I'm like, oh, that's cute, babe. He was very set on it, very set. And I'm like, okay, well, this is also, not that's not going to happen. Like, I need a little whimsy. I need this. I need that. ChatGPT, it's great, but it's no Amanda. It's no me and Amanda. So I'm excited. I ordered some wallpaper samples, so hopefully he'll get more excited. I
Yeah.
think we picked out our crib. It's going to be from West Elm, right?
So chic.
Yeah, we are so excited. And now we're going to do the registry thing this weekend. So the ball is rolling.
And once we get the nursery like fully put together, we'll post some sneak peeks like when we start wallpapering, when we do all the things, and then at the end I can share some of our thought process behind it and loop you guys in because it's so fun. I mean, baby stuff is just so fun. I love doing little things around our house, like changing up rooms, but there is just nothing like a baby room because you really get to be spunky with it.
I know. I feel like I can have some fun. And then I'm looking at all of these people's like nursery inspo, and they're so serious or so
Just
simple.
sad beige baby, which we're not doing. And you know what? And if that's what your vibe is, that's totally fine. And we're not bashing the beige baby because I feel like some people really thrive the best in a calm environment and the more power to them. We're really not those people. And so I feel like we're going to put the pedal to the metal and get real playful out here.
It's true. I'm so excited, and it'll be fun. I am not going to be able to do a single thing about it until my sister comes back, which is Lord knows when. But I truly I get very overwhelmed. I'm like, I can't set up anything in this house without her. So this house is kind of her baby.
It's true. So if
And
you've ever
your
been to
house.
Alyssa's house, just take a gander and think of me. No, Paul does really want a surfboard like propped up, which he sent a photo of one and I was like, oh, chic. Like that's cool. But then I was thinking more and more about it and I was like, you actually can't just prop a surfboard up on the wall. Like that is such a safety hazard and he will not listen to it. Like I'm like, what? the baby is just gonna crawl past it and it's just gonna bump him on the head. Like we don't have the time. So we'll see about that. If anyone has any surfboard tips for keeping them secure, send them to us.
Yeah, I have this one right back here that I have to secure. And I don't know. We got to figure that out.
So that's all fun and games, but why don't you tell us how pregnancy is going?
Pregnancy is not easy. You guys,
Mm.
wow. I cannot believe how many women just sign up to do this over and over and over and over. The nausea is real. I never knew that nausea could be all day long for months. So that was fun. And I'm currently struggling with headaches and migraines, and that's super fun too. Trying to get my thyroid under control because she is just off the deep end. And yeah, we also suffered from a subchorionic hematoma in the early days, which apparently can happen to 30% of women, but it was very scary. If anyone is not aware of it, it's I woke up with a lot of blood everywhere, and so we assumed the worst. And then we went straight to the hospital, and it ended up being a hematoma, and baby was okay. So that was just terrifying. But I mean, now I'm in the second trimester and things are dying down, like the symptoms besides the headaches. And I'm hoping I can start eating food that's good for me because I've just been craving mac and cheese and graham crackers and just bad things. So
He really has been craving mac and cheese. I feel like Paul is always like, dinner tonight. It's Kraft. Like,
yeah,
it's
it has to be
so funny
craft.
because like we grew up eating Kraft mac and cheese. Like we just loved it. We would throw a hot dog in every now and then with a little ketchup. If you're not
Amanda, that's
familiar,
disgusting to tell people.
if you're not familiar, get familiar because it is earth-shattering, phenomenal. My dad and I were my mom was out like on vacation somewhere and then Omar was on a work trip. And so my dad and I were just hanging out one night and I was like, "Oh, what should we do for dinner?" And he was like, "I've got it covered." And I'm like, "Okay. Okay." What does he whip up? He whipped up Kraft mac and cheese, chopped hot dog. It has to be bite size. Can't just be a whole ass dog in there, and smothered in ketchup. And honestly, I was so happy. So give it a spin. But anyways, carry on.
Yeah, and then my sister beat me to the punch and got a mom chop, so I guess I can't do that.
You can get a pixie.
Oh my God, do you want me to get divorced?
Your hair has literally never looked better. It's so long and so luscious.
It has never been this long in my life, and everyone is always like, "Oh my God, it's prenatals, it's prenatals." No, I've been on prenatals for 3 years now. It's pregnancy. Pregnancy has really done it to my hair. So,
I see it.
yeah, that's been one very good benefit. And yeah, it's been interesting, you guys. It's definitely been interesting, but it will be so worth it. I'm so excited to have a little baby running around, to take him to the beach and introduce him to his crazy auntie.
Watch out. Okay, I want to finish us off with a question that I think the people are all wondering. So, what is your best advice to someone who is dealing with infertility and going to do IVF?
Take it day by day. Number one, don't make plans. Let people come to you and try to make it work around you. Like, you don't have to just have injections. You can use numbing cream, you can use ice packs, and you can put on your favorite show, and you can do that every single night. That's what I did. I'm like, that's what I want, and so that's what I'm going to do. You can treat yourself. You can just surround yourself with happiness and whatever you want to do. Be prepared to relax a lot. So I have barely worked out. They say don't work out before IVF or like while you're doing it. And then I could barely work out in the first trimester. So, I mean, just allowing your body to get into a state of calm. Acupuncture, I would absolutely, absolutely recommend it. I went to a fertility specialized acupuncture. They're expensive, but they are so worth it. And just following their plan when you're doing IVF, you're spending a lot of money. And so that is super helpful. Then, something that I didn't know about until I was on Instagram and TikTok is that the day of your transfer, you go to McDonald's and you get French fries.
Why?
I don't know. They're good luck fries, and you need
Oh, that's just like a thing that people do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. And it's great, you know? It's just great. But don't be scared. You'll get through it. And it's a finite amount of time, and stay hopeful. You're gonna get through it.
That is beautiful advice. Why?
And feel the feels. It's okay.
Yeah. Wise words of wisdom from Mother Alyssa.
Thank you.
I loved this. I think that this was amazing, and I'm so excited for you. And the world is excited for you, it appears. People are jumping off the walls, and they should be.
People are very excited when we posted, and it was like making me cry what everyone was saying, because again, I feel like everyone has gone along this journey with us. Somehow, every single person we know has known we've been on this journey. And now they definitely do, because I've been making these videos and posting them on YouTube. So go ahead and give those a watch if you want to see all of this that we just talked about in real time and how the whole process works in depth. Because I started when we started our first IUI. And yeah, so I'm really glad that I documented everything. I was like, I don't know who this is for, but maybe it'll be for somebody. And it's also been really good for me to look back on and recognize everything that I went through. And yeah, because right now we feel very happy, and it's hard to even think back to like times of uncertainty. And so just having faith in that and family, and seeing how important it was to be surrounded by that.
I love it. I love you.
I love
We're
you.
so
Are
proud
you
of you.
pregnant?
No, I'm not. I'm actually going to go to a bar tonight.
Nice. Very nice.
It's an
Yeah.
airplane bar. If anyone has not been and you live in the Phoenix area, it is so cute. I don't know what
I
it's
need to go
called.
there.
Huh?
I still haven't been there.
It is so sick. I believe that it's owned by the people who started the Global Ambassador. And if you haven't been to the Global Ambassador, it is so sick. And I really love the airplane bar. They check you in, they give you a pin, they give you the peanuts. Like, it just is such a vibe. It's such a
Ugh,
vibe. So that's what we're doing tonight with some of my
that would be
girls.
a fun birthday party theme too.
Ooh, that would be cute. Like Pan Am. Pan Amanda.
40th,
31st.
31. Well, thank you
Uh,
guys for walking alongside me. And I know this was a heavy episode of lots of chatter for myself. I'm out of breath, but I'm also so excited to share this news and can't wait to talk about all of the crunchy mom things.
we are so excited, so happy for you. Couldn't be prouder. And if anyone is tired of listening to Alyssa, next week we have an episode where I'm going to be dishing all things home for summer and getting into some really fun Q&As. So I can't wait to get into that. So stay tuned.
Before you talk soon, we're also reading What Alice Forgot. So everyone read it. I started it. It's been very good so far. I like it.
I told you would like it. It's a very interesting book. I've never read a book quite like it, which I think is what really intrigued me. So, yes, everyone join in on our book club for the month of July. We will be doing a recap, probably the first week of August. We'll be doing a little recap, a little summary, and talking all things book club, which I'm so excited about because reading really is something that Alyssa and I like cherish. And we talk about it during the report, but we don't get to do like a full-fledged reading episode. And I just feel like it's so fun. So
We must.
read What Alice Forgot with us. I'll be posting about it soon.
I am excited about the report too because there's just been so many like there's another good book I'm reading, there's another show I've been watching. So you can actually start it too. It's called The 5-Star Weekend.
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about that at work, and my boss asked if anyone had watched it, and no one had yet. So,
Well, I love Ellen Hildebrand, which is like the best summer author ever. So if you need a summer read besides What Alice Forgot, then you can pick that up. But it's a show based off of one of her books. So, and it has Jennifer Garner. So she's amazing. And you'll have to fill us in on how The Devil Wears Prada was.
it was so good. I can't wait to talk about it.
Fun. Well, we will talk soon, everybody. We love
Soon.
you.